Hey guys, in this video we're going to de-stress. So if you deal with anxiety or you're going through a really stressful time right now, this video is for you. Go ahead and grab a block or a throw pillow as well as your mat if you have one or a blanket. Let's get started. Welcome to your stress reliever. So to start, what I like to do is I like to use a couple things. First, if you have a block or like a thick book or throw pillow, go ahead and grab that. And I like to use, if you have anything topical that you like to use in areas of your body that have tension, whether it's essential oils or I use Zele's Ultracell CBD topical cream. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my neck because I've had some tension here. So go ahead and just kind of get yourself ready for this short practice we're going to do. And the things we're going to do in this time are going to be great for sitting at the desk at work. You can do them sitting down. And for those of you who may have knee problems or you're just not as comfortable being on the floor all the time, see if you can modify some of what we do together in a chair. So that's something you can also do. Another option, as I mentioned, essential oils. So if you grab your favorite essential oil, I just like to put a couple drops in my hands. A soothing one would be good since this is for stress and tension. Go ahead and just kind of rub it in. And then inhale it. And I like to rub a little bit on my mat as well so I can smell it throughout the practice. All right, so now that we've done those things, we've used our oils and anything on our body that just is tense, that topical CBD works amazing for me. It gets right into my bloodstream and helps relieve those areas. All right, so actually we'll wait on the block. Let's go and just start, if you will, in a comfortable seated position. Again, if you need the block to sit on it to help you sit more comfortably and keep your posture straight, go ahead and use that or a pillow. Relaxing your hands on your legs or wherever feels good for you. And just think about your posture, closing off your eyes, and just listen to me during this time, clearing your mind of any stressors, any tension, just anything that pops in your head. Go ahead and let those things pop into your head right now, because this time is for you. So as these distractions pop in, gently boot them out. And maybe some of these things will need dealt with at some point. That's okay, just put them away for now. And maybe some of these things, they're not worth worrying about. There's enough worries today. It's not worth worrying about, so just think about sticking it in a balloon or a cloud and then letting it float away forever. And I know it's not always that simple with some things, but right now, for this time right now, really think about what you need. Because it's not just your body that's feeling the stress, it's your mind and your heart too. So dealing with that in an emotionally healthy way is so important. And throughout this practice, I'll speak truth to you and just encouragement. Even though I may not know exactly what you're going through, you know, God knows. You just learn to release it during this time. This is a time of freedom and a time for you to heal and just to let go and be good to yourself. Start to do your deep breathing in and out your nose, bringing in that fresh oxygen. We're going to release tension in your body that's due to stress. And stress is often something we let it in, we allow it to happen. And even though it may feel like you can't help it, I think it's something we get better at with time, not allowing ourselves to react maybe the way we once would have to something. Just overall being healthier as we deal with things and refuse to worry about them and refuse to live in fear. Worry is rooted in fear. All right. Let's go ahead and take our hands to our chest and let's breathe in. Taking those deep breaths, 5 seconds in, and then 5 seconds out our nose. Again, think about filling up that chest. And exhale out your nose. Now moving your hands to your ribs so your fingers are slightly interlaced and breathing into that area. Releasing our worries and tensions with each exhale. And things may pop into your head as we do this, distractions, stressors, whatever it may be, because that's life and we're human. It's going to happen. So releasing each one as you exhale. If something pops in your head, that's the next thing you exhale. Placing your hands on your back where your kidneys are, with your fingers facing down toward the ground. Inhale, filling up those kidneys. Taking note in your body where you might have some tension or soreness. It may be where you're carrying your stress. For me, it's often my neck and my back, my middle back. One more. Okay, gently opening up your eyes. And now we're just gonna come into a child's pose here. We're gonna slowly bring, now if it's not comfortable on your knees, think about getting maybe a thicker blanket. Or you can also sit in a chair and lean forward. You have an ottoman you can put in front of you. I like to do child's pose with my knees apart. You can keep them together if you want. Just reaching forward, letting your hips sit back on your heels. Letting that chest melt toward the floor. This should feel very comforting. If it doesn't, try putting your knees together if they're not already. Or don't go so deep. And during this time, I found it's really helpful to me sometimes to think about one thing throughout my practice, especially a practice like this where our goal is to relieve stress. So as you're breathing and relieving the stress that you're carrying in your body, you can actually say out loud, because there's a lot of power in that. I do not need to fear. I do not need to worry. Even I am not worried, I will not fear. That's an even more definite statement. And it's so powerful, and I do this myself every day, and it's something I'm learning. When your mind listens to what your mouth says. And it may feel a little silly at first, especially if you're not used to affirming things out loud to yourself. But it's true, you don't have to live in fear. And all worry or anxiety or stress is rooted in fear. And I'm not shaming you for any feeling stress, because I certainly feel it too. I'm here to encourage you. Okay, gently walking yourself to the right. We'll start moving just a little more. I know this feels like a lot of static breathing, but it's just as mental as it is physical, which is why we're doing this. Thinking comforting poses now off to the left as we breathe, reaching through those sides. If you need to spend longer on one side than the other because you're feeling the tension on one side more than the other, please go ahead and stay there for a little longer. You can always pause me too. Don't feel bad about that. Okay, as we inhale, coming back to center. And then again, if you need a blanket under your knees, go ahead and do that. If you're sitting in a chair, you can place your hands on your legs and bend each arm on your knees or on the ground if you're on your hands and knees. Just bending, twisting a little bit. Good. Now, if you're able, think about bringing your elbows down. This might be a little tricky for some of you. Again, I'm sorry if you need your block. Go ahead and grab your block here. And you can also do it this way. Start to open up that back a little more. Hips are up. This should just open up your back a little more because a lot of us carry tension in our backs. Some of us carry it in our hips. In fact, women tend to carry a lot of tension, stress in our hips. So we're going to get there. I like to do prayer here, but if it's better for you, you can come down like this. Actually, I'm able to open up my upper back a little more when I do that. I'm not as open in my back as my hips, so it's again where I carry a lot of my tension. Breathing. Remember, releasing any fears with each exhale. Gently coming up, removing the block for now. And then coming back to seated. We're just going to release a little more with our breaths and our twists, getting new blood going. So placing your left hand behind you, and you can place your right hand on your right knee, doing a nice little twist here, just looking over your left shoulder. And feel free throughout this whole practice, if you want to close off your eyes, go ahead. That helps you focus and get into a peaceful state. Gently releasing it. And now to the other side, right hand behind you or whichever, the opposite hand. And your other hand on your knee. Nice little twist here. Good. Nice deep breaths. Remembering that you're meant to live in peace. There's no place for fear or worry or even stress. Now, a little stress in your life is always a bad thing, but not when it's affecting your body and your mind to the point where it's debilitating. Inhale, coming back to center. Let's go ahead. And if you're uncomfortable seated here, in possibly the block behind you or under you, go ahead and take your hands just on the front of your legs here and round your back. So let's turn this side so you can see me. Just rounding your back a bit. Good. Good. Do a little mobility here, sending your chest forward. And rounding it, kind of like sitting cat-cows. This is great if you're someone who you do not want to be on your knees. By the way, my hands are on my upper calves, upper shins, I should say, calves. So you don't want to pull on your knees. This is a great cat-cow if you do not want to be in tabletop position. Good, sending that chest forward. Releasing any tension you're holding there. Good. Coming back to neutral, I'm going to go ahead and face you guys again. Now planting this hand on one side and just reaching up and over. You can bend this elbow down here if you want. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Really elongating. Good. Very nice. Breathing. For me, that exhale was just exhaling any stress that could come from work tomorrow. It's already crossed my mind. Change to the other side. So I'm exhaling and letting that go. I'm trusting it's going to be a great day tomorrow. And anything that comes my way, I'm strong, I can handle it. I've been made strong. I encourage you, you're the same way. You can do it too. Now we're gently going to flow here. We're just going to flow from one side to the next. I like to look up when I do this. If you want to look forward, you can. Whatever feels good. Just feel that mobility in your spine start to open up. The sides, releasing any tension you're feeling there. Good. Okay. And come back to center. Okay, there's a couple different ways. We're going to just open up the hips a little bit here. You have two options. Now for beginners, if you are a beginner, take your block. You can set it underneath you and just sit on it if you want, or your pillow, like this, where you want your feet to be about 45 degrees out and widen your legs. So that's one way you can get into this position. We're going to be like this in Yogi squat. It's great for your hips and opening up. Another option here, if this feels better for you, start standing up, and then you are going to squat down. Now if you're very open in your hips and you don't need the block, go ahead, but for this, I'm going to go ahead and do this sitting on the block. Now, you might need 2 blocks or a thicker pillow. That's great. Just do your best, okay? The goal here is to open up your legs. I'm very open in my hips, so you know, if you're in here, that's okay. And you may not be able to get your heels all the way down. That's okay. It's something to work for. Okay, so now just using your elbows to press gently against your knees. And then what I like to do is I take one hand down toward the floor. It's okay if you can't reach. You can. Reaching down toward the floor and opening up to one side. Inhale. Exhale. This one helps me release a lot of tension. Coming back to center. Inhale up the other side. Just reaching, opening up that chest. Good. Come back to center. Good. Move your neck one side to the other, opening it up, releasing any tension in your neck and shoulders right now. Good. Remember, with each exhale, we're releasing our stressors. They may be stressful things, but it's up to us how they affect us. Okay. Now, if you're on the block, you have the option. You can stand up if you want, or just take one hand, brace yourself, and move that block out of the way, which I just did a horrible job doing. All right, setting that off to the side. You'll need it here in a moment. What we're going to do is actually come to standing if you're not already there. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to stand in the middle here. Let's go ahead and just relieve a little tension here in the back body before we come back down to the ground. So we're going to inhale up, and your feet can be about shoulder width apart here. When I inhale up, I like to look at my hands. This is similar to the beginning of our vinyasa. And then swan dive down, nice flat back here, all the way down to forward fold. Inhale while you're down here, and exhale normally, just letting yourself hang. If you need to widen your feet a little bit so you feel like you've a stronger foundation, go ahead and do that. If you need to bend your knees slightly, and maybe you're not as low as me, that's totally fine. You might be up here, that's okay. And you know, if it feels better to have your block right here, that's fine too. Do what works for you. I'm just gonna let myself hang here. You can grab your elbows and swing side to side. Just feel the comfort of, you might feel your belly gently against the tops of your thighs. Take comfort in that feeling. There's something about, even though we're not really curled up in a ball right now, that feeling, it's very comforting. And right now, more than anything, in stressful times, we need comfort and we need encouragement. Placing your hands on the floor if you can. If not, go ahead. If you're up here, go ahead and widen your feet. Oops, I don't slide. Widen your feet on your mat, not like I'm doing. Planting your hands down, widen your feet until your hands can touch. And then let yourself hang this way. And breathing. See if you can get your hands even with your feet. Good. This should feel really nice on your back. Elongating. Releasing any tension in your hamstrings right now. Sometimes we carry it there. A lot of times our hamstrings are really tight, so opening those up as well. Now with an inhale, bring your hands slightly forward and then toe heel those feet in, bending your knees and coming down to our bums. Okay? All right. Now, let's go ahead and come onto our backs. And go ahead and hug your knees into you. This should feel really good. And just gently roll yourself on the floor in this little ball. And you should feel like a nice release in your low back here. It's like a little massage. Releasing, exhaling, getting new oxygen in, old carbon dioxide out. Good. All right. Curling up your toes, splaying them out, curling them in, splaying them out, releasing any tension there. Good. And then gently coming down into Shavasana. Now, if you want to put your block, some people like this. If you have a lot of low back pain or you carry your tension in your back, consider putting your block right in your lower back to where it feels good. And you'll need to bend your knees for that and keep them there. Or if you have more of a mid to upper back pain, you can put it where your bra strap would be. Ladies, for men, you can imagine. And then opening up your chest. If that's too much, you can always put another block or a pillow here. And opening up. I like to go into cactus if I'm here. Or you can just lay flat. I'm going to keep this block here for a moment. And just breathing. Still doing those deep breaths. And now we're doing our final wind down here. Just opening up your chest. Letting your body melt into the floor. Starting at the top of your head. Releasing any tension, any muscles that are still working. So going down your forehead, no furrowed brow between your eyebrows. Letting your eyes roll in the back of your head. Down your nose, releasing your cheeks. Nice deep breaths. Releasing any tensions you're feeling right now. Release your inner ear. Open it up. Your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And it's fine if your mouth hangs open. No muscles are working. Down your throat. Your chest, opening it up. Letting your upper back and shoulders melt into the floor. Down your arms, your biceps and triceps released. Your elbows, down your forearms to your wrists and fingers, letting them splay out, unmoving. And down your ribs and your back, letting it really feel the floor as it melts into the floor. And to your pelvis, letting it open up. Down your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles and your toes, letting it all splay out. And rest. to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing yourself back to the room, opening that inner again if you need to. And then when you're ready, gently rolling off to one side, off your block if you're on one, into fetal position. Taking your hand and pressing yourself up gently with your eyes still closed off into a comfortable seated position, whatever they may be for you. Hands on your lap somewhere. Go and open up your eyes and let's inhale up and exhale down, heart center. Thank you for joining me today. For more videos like this, please leave a comment below if this is something you really liked or if there's something you'd like to see more of. I would love to hear it. Thank you, and I will see you next time.